The rain fell in relentless sheets, drumming against the windshield like 1,000 tiny fists, demanding attention. Officer Alex Carter squinted through the murky glass of his patrol car, his mind drifting into a haze of exhaustion as he awaited another uneventful night shift in Willow Creek. But just as he began to nod off, a crackling voice erupted from the radio, shattering the silence and jolting him awake. Possible domestic disturbance at 45 Maple Street. Caller is a 4-year-old male. Alex's heart raced. This was no ordinary call. A child, alone. His instincts kicked in immediately. This could be serious. He had seen too many tragedies unfold when adults failed to protect their little ones. With adrenaline surging through his veins, he flipped on his siren and sped down the slick streets. As he navigated through puddles that reflected flickering streetlights like shattered glass, Alex's thoughts raced ahead of him. What could possibly be happening at that house? Was it just a prank or something far more sinister? The small town was usually quiet at this hour. Children should be tucked away in bed, not making emergency calls. Arriving at 45 Maple Street felt surreal. It was an unassuming bungalow with peeling paint and overgrown weeds that whispered tales of neglect. The front porch sagged under years of wear, while shadows danced ominously around its edges, as if warning him to turn back. But there was no time for hesitation. The urgency pulsed within him like a second heartbeat. He stepped out into the downpour, feeling cold droplets plastering his uniform against his skin as he approached the door cautiously. Each step echoed with apprehension. What awaited him inside could change everything. Not just for himself but for an innocent child who had reached out for help amidst chaos. Police, open up. His voice boomed over the sound of rain pounding on rooftops. A command laced with authority yet tinged with concern. Silence enveloped him momentarily before a small voice broke through. A whisper barely audible above nature's fury. Who is it? It's Officer Alex. Can you open the door? He knelt beside it so that they were eye level, his heart aching at how fragile this situation felt already. After what seemed like an eternity filled with muffled sobs from within, Liam finally opened up. A tiny figure framed by darkness stood before him. Tousled brown hair clung to tear-streaked cheeks while wide blue eyes shimmered with fear and confusion. My grandpa fell. He won't wake up, Liam stammered between hiccuping breaths, clutching onto a worn teddy bear as if it were his only lifeline amid despair. A chill ran down Alex's spine, not merely from fear but also empathy flooding over him like waves crashing upon shorelines during storms. The realization hit hard. This wasn't just another routine call. Leaves hung precariously in balance. Here tonight. Without wasting another moment, Alex pushed open the door wider and stepped inside where shadows loomed larger than life itself. Chapter 2. The Horrific Discovery. The sound of sirens pierced through the rain-soaked night, a beacon of hope amidst the chaos that enveloped the small bungalow. Officer Alex Carter knelt beside Mr. Miller, his heart pounding in rhythm with the distant wail of approaching help. He could feel Liam's anxious gaze on him, those innocent blue eyes filled with fear and uncertainty as they darted between him and his grandfather. Stay close to me, Liam, Alex said softly, trying to project calmness despite the turmoil swirling inside him. The boy nodded but remained rooted at the doorway, clutching his worn teddy bear tightly against his chest. As he assessed Miss Miller's condition further, Alex noticed how pale and frail he looked sprawled on the floor. A pool of dark crimson blood was slowly spreading beneath his head like an ominous halo. The metallic scent mixed with damp wool filled Alex's nostrils, a smell he had encountered too many times before but never grew accustomed to. Come on, he urged himself silently, as he checked for vital signs again, this time pressing 2 fingers against Miss Miller's neck in search of a pulse. It was weak but present. Relief washed over him momentarily before reality crashed back down like thunder outside. Please hold on, Alex whispered under his breath while reaching for his radio once more to call dispatch urgently. Officer needs assistance at 45 Maple Street. Possible unconscious male head injury. Requesting immediate medical back. Liam shifted nervously behind him. Every muffled sound seemed amplified in that tense moment. The rain hammering against windows felt like an impending storm ready to unleash its fury upon them all. Is Grandpa going to be okay? Liam asked hesitantly after what felt like an eternity passed since they last spoke, a tremor lacing through each word as if fear threatened to swallow him whole. Alex turned around slowly so their eyes met directly, It broke something within him, seeing such vulnerability reflected back from this little boy who had already shown remarkable bravery by calling for help when no one else would have thought twice about it. "We're doing everything we can," he replied gently while forcing himself into a reassuring smile, despite feeling anything but calm inside. His gut twisted painfully at how much rested upon this fragile child's shoulders tonight alone without any adult supervision nearby during such dire circumstances unfolding right now around them both. Just then the paramedics burst through doorways clad in bright yellow jackets, their presence bringing urgency along with them. They moved swiftly, yet efficiently towards where Miss Miller lay motionless. One began assessing vitals while another prepared equipment needed for transport. Alex stepped aside, allowing professional space needed, yet kept close enough so that Liam wouldn't feel abandoned amidst all commotion happening around them. As they worked diligently, he couldn't shake off feeling overwhelmed by emotions swirling within himself. Admiration mixed guilt weighed heavily down deep inside, knowing full well how easily things could have gone differently had young boy not acted quickly enough earlier tonight. After several minutes which felt stretched into hours, finally came news from paramedic attending closely. "We need to get him stabilized before moving." With urgency coursing through every fiber of their beings, they carefully lifted Miller onto a stretcher, ensuring minimal movement possible given head trauma sustained earlier. Liam watched wide-eyed as they wheeled away Grandpa towards ambulance parked outside. Tears streamed silently down cheeks, leaving trails behind where dirt smudged across skin, still clinging desperately onto teddy bear held tightly throughout entire ordeal. Thus far endured together. Once outside under dim streetlights illuminating surroundings slightly better than darkness surrounding home itself, moments ago, Alex knelt beside Liam again, offering comfort amidst chaos unfolding around them. Both now realizing just how important connection formed between these two unlike companions truly was during such harrowing experience. Shared together tonight, forever etched into memories created hereafter. "We'll follow them," said Officer Carter firmly, yet gently placing hand reassuringly atop Little's shoulder, hoping somehow words spoken might ease fears lingering still, deep within, heart beating rapidly beneath surface, showing signs resilience even when faced adversity beyond comprehension imaginable. Only moments prior, as the paramedics rushed into the house, their presence brought a wave of relief that washed over Alex. He stepped back to give them space, but his eyes remained glued to Liam, who stood frozen in the doorway clutching his teddy bear tightly. The boy's small frame trembled as he watched the scene unfold with wide eyes filled with a mixture of fear and confusion. "Stay close to me, Liam," Alex said gently, kneeling down so they were eye level. "I need you to be brave for your grandpa right now." Liam nodded slowly but didn't move from his spot. The chaos around him, the flashing lights outside and the frantic movements of the paramedics was overwhelming for such a young child. Alex could see that he was trying hard to process everything happening around him. The paramedics quickly assessed Mr. Miller's condition. One began chest compressions while another prepared equipment for resuscitation. Time seemed to stretch infinitely as they worked diligently against the clock, each second feeling like an eternity filled with uncertainty. "Is he going to be okay?" Liam finally whispered, his voice barely audible above the commotion. Alex felt a pang in his heart at hearing those words, so innocent yet so heavy with meaning. "We're doing everything we can," he replied softly but firmly, hoping that reassurance would ease some of Liam's fears even if it was uncertain whether it would truly help. Minutes passed like hours before one of the paramedics looked up from their work and met Alex's gaze with a solemn expression that sent chills down his spine. "We need to get him stabilized and transported immediately," she said urgently before turning back toward her team. With practiced efficiency, they loaded Mr. Miller onto a stretcher while continuing CPR, a race against time fueled by desperation and hope intertwined within every heartbeat echoing through this small home where tragedy had struck unexpectedly tonight. As they wheeled Mr. Miller out into pouring rain under bright red lights illuminating darkened streets beyond, Alex turned towards Liam again, who still stood rooted in place watching intently. "Come on, buddy," Officer Carter encouraged gently, extending an arm toward him. "Let's go see your grandpa at the hospital." Liam hesitated momentarily before taking hesitant steps forward until finally grasping hold onto Officer's hand tightly as if seeking comfort amidst turmoil surrounding them both. The drive felt surreal. Raindrops raced down car windows, mirroring tears streaming silently across cheeks beneath dim streetlights flickering past them. Each passing moment weighed heavily upon Officer Carter, knowing full well how fragile life could be, especially when faced head-on by unexpected circumstances like these. Arriving at Willow Creek Medical Center felt almost dreamlike, the sterile environment contrasting sharply against emotional chaos experienced just moments earlier inside their home. As soon as they entered through sliding glass doors leading into bustling emergency room area, filled sounds, alarms ringing out alongside voices calling out names, anxiously waiting, news regarding loved ones' fates hanging precariously between life and death situations unfolding all around them. Nurse approached immediately, recognizing urgency written across both men's faces. She guided them towards waiting area designated specifically families needing support during critical times, such as this one where uncertainty loomed large overhead, casting shadows deep enough even light couldn't penetrate fully. Once settled into uncomfortable plastic chairs lined up neatly along walls adorned cheerful paintings meant distract visitors from harsh realities faced daily within hospital settings, Officer Carter turned towards young boy beside him, whose expression remained stoic, despite evident worry etched deeply upon features still so innocent yet burdened far beyond years lived thus far. "Do you want me tell you about my job?" he asked, attempting lighten mood slightly while also providing distraction away from current situation unfolding nearby involving grandfather fighting hardest battle imaginable right now without any guarantees. Outcome would favor either side ultimately involved here today. Liam glanced sideways, meeting officer's gaze briefly, then nodded slowly, unsure what else say given circumstances surrounding them both presently. However, curiosity sparked interest, igniting tiny flame, hope somewhere deep inside, heart yearning, find solace amid storm raging outside, world beyond walls enclosing two unlikely companions brought together fatefully under dire conditions, neither expected nor wished upon anyone ever really. And so began conversation between two souls navigating uncharted waters together. One seeking answers amid confusion while other offered guidance through darkness, illuminating path ahead, despite uncertainties looming large overhead, threatening drown hopes, dreams alike, unless courage prevailed. Ultimately guiding way forward regardless obstacles encountered, a long journey taken henceforth. Days turned into weeks after the scary night, when Officer Alex Carter helped Liam and his grandpa, Mr. Miller. Alex wanted to make sure they were okay, so he visited them often. He didn't just see them as people he had to help. He started to care about them like family. Liam was still a little shy at first, but every time Alex came by, the boy's smile grew bigger. They played games together in the living room while Mr. Miller rested in his chair nearby. Sometimes they built tall towers with blocks or colored pictures with crayons. Liam loved showing Alex his drawings of superheroes and dinosaurs. One rainy afternoon while they were playing inside, Liam looked up at Alex with big eyes full of questions. "Officer Alex," he said softly, "are you going to be my friend forever?" Alex felt a warm feeling in his heart as he knelt down beside Liam. "Of course I will. Friends are always there for each other," he replied with a smile. As time passed, their friendship grew stronger. They talked about everything: school, favorite toys, and even what they wanted to be when they grew up. Liam dreamed of becoming a firefighter because he wanted to help people too. One day after school, Liam ran up to Officer Alex excitedly, holding something behind his back. "I have a surprise for you." He revealed it was a small drawing of both of them standing next to each other wearing superhero. "This is amazing," said Alex as he took the picture from Liam's hands gently. "You made me look so cool." Liam giggled happily and said proudly, "You are cool. You saved my grandpa." Alex felt proud but also humble. It wasn't just him who had made things better. It was their teamwork that mattered most during those tough times. Meanwhile, Mr. Miller slowly got better after visiting the doctor regularly and taking medicine as needed. He watched from afar how much joy this friendship brought, not only back into life, but also healing within their home again. One evening, Mr. Miller called both boys over. I want you two young men here tonight for dinner." They shared stories around the table filled with laughter, good food and warmth that filled every corner, making it feel like home once more despite all hardships faced before. As days turned into months, the bond between Officer Carter, Liam, and Mr. Miller became unbreakable. They learned how important it is not only helping others during hard times, but also being there through good moments too, creating memories together along the way. After many weeks, Mr. Miller was finally feeling better. He had spent a long time in the hospital, but now he was back home with Liam. The house felt different. It was brighter and filled with hope. Officer Alex Carter came to visit them again, happy to see that both of them were doing well. "Hey there, Liam. How are you?" Alex asked with a warm smile as he entered the cozy living room. "I'm good. Grandpa is better too," Liam replied excitedly, his eyes shining with joy. Mr. Miller sat in his favorite chair by the window, looking healthier than before. "Thanks to you both," he said gratefully. "I don't know what I would have done without you." From then on, every Friday night became special, filled not only with games, but also stories shared over snacks enjoyed together under warm lights illuminating the cozy living room, where friendships blossomed stronger than ever before. They played board games like Monopoly and Uno while laughing at silly jokes and funny moments from their week. Sometimes they made popcorn or baked cookies together. The sweet smell filled the house and made it feel even more like home. Through these moments spent laughing together, despite hardships faced earlier on their journey toward healing and happiness, found within each other's company, new beginnings emerged, bringing hope anew into lives once shadowed by fear and uncertainty, now replaced by love and friendship. One Friday evening, as they sat around the table playing cards after dinner, Mr. Miller looked at Liam with pride in his eyes. "You've grown so brave through all this," he said softly. Liam smiled shyly, but felt proud inside. He had learned that even when things got tough or scary, having people who cared about him made everything easier to handle. Officer Alex watched them closely. Seeing how much they had healed warmed his heart deeply. It reminded him why he loved being a police officer so much. Helping others find light during dark times brought joy beyond measure. As spring approached outside their window, the flowers began blooming brightly. Their little family grew closer each day. They shared dreams for future adventures, talked about school projects, and planned trips to parks nearby where laughter echoed freely among trees, swaying gently under sunny skies. With every passing week they created memories that would last forever. A bond formed not just from duty but genuine care for one another. In this new chapter of life filled with laughter instead of tears, hope instead of fear, they discovered something truly special. Sometimes family isn't just about blood relations. Sometimes it's about those who stand beside us through thick and thin, ready to support us whenever needed most. And so began their journey towards brighter days ahead, together as friends united against whatever challenges lay waiting beyond horizon, yet unseen.